Dear friends, since 1975, March 8 has been celebrated as the International Women's Day by the United Nations Organization so as to end in gender inequalities and discriminations at the global level. But the International Women's Day had a checkered and a long history since 1886. It has been closely associated with the May Day celebration on May 1st, 1886 by the American workers on the May Day occasions. It was ended in the bullet shots, and many of the precious lives had been lost, and many had been put to jails, and so many repressive measures had been taken by the then United States of America brutal police on the workers without any arms, but for their demands of 8 hours working day. After a decade in 1896, there was a International Working Women's Conference in London, and thereafter in the year 1999, on 28th February, the United States of American Socialist women had made a lot of demonstrations, agitations for their upliftment, and particularly for political right to vote in the United States of America. After a decade, that according to the International Human Rights Instruments document and other women rights organization, then one woman from this Germany and a socialist, Steva ZETKIN, had demanded for the day ought to be celebrated at the international arena on the same day, on the same year, throughout the length and the breadth of the global community, so as to assert the rights of women in all walks of life in all the countries. After that, it was in the year 1975, March 8 had been declared as the International Women's Day. It is a different story. The point herein is that in the year that is starting in the 1910s, and in the October Socialist Revolution of that is Socialist Russia, that is Soviet Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, I had fought for the rights of the women along with the other male counterparts, peasants, workers, and other toiling sections of the society. I have fought against the discriminations and inequalities, both economic, political, as well as social inequalities existing in the Tsar regime. It had paved way for the emancipation of the entirety of the international working class movement. Together, the workers and women, patients, and all are part and parcel of the international working class movement. In that concept, attaining socialism, the Women's Forum had been created, and that Women's Forum had demanded the end of these inequalities and to assert the rights of women in the socialist pattern of society. The point herein is that through 100 years of struggle, sustained struggles and efforts by the international working class movement and socialist movement for uprighting or asserting the rights of the women, girl children, and other inequalized sections of society, had been fighting for the rights of women and girl children in a larger way. Still, it is continuing in this 20th century. It has started in the 20th century, but the same sort of discriminations have been finding in even in this 21st century. But throughout the globe, the history is that without the participation of women in any movement or any struggle, any independent country would not give way for emancipation.